Hi everyone, so today we're going to be replacing the main power switch on your tufting gun, which is this one here. Sometimes this one can get damaged, so we're going to be replacing this. For today's repair, you're going to need a screwdriver with a Phillips head end, a pair of needle nose pliers, any kind will do, some solder, just some like basic electronic solder, your replacement switch, just like the one here, and you're going to need some kind of soldering iron. This one's really fancy, but you can use any kind. Okay, so let's get into it. You're going to want to mostly work on a non-flammable surface, just a piece of wood here, nothing fancy. Basically what you have to do is, what we're going to be doing is removing this back blue portion here to have access to the switch. In order to do that, you have to remove 3 screws. You have to remove this screw here, this one here, and this one here. Okay? So take your screwdriver, unscrew, set this in a safe place so you don't lose it. Unscrew this one. This top one is different, so it goes in a different place. And unscrew this one. Okay? Next step is you actually need to pull this off. Okay? Sometimes you have to take a flathead screwdriver. So this is the screwdriver that switches. So this is a flathead or something to kind of wedge in here just a bit. So it's already coming off. And then you just want to carefully slide it off. You don't want to pull this off too hard. So once you get in here, you can see that there's all these wires. These are clipped in really securely, but you just want to be pretty careful with that. Okay? Okay, so now that we have the back part off, we're going to be removing the switch. So you just take your needle nose pliers and unscrew this. Also put those in a safe place just in case. Just have a little washer here. So as you can see, you can actually pull the switch out at this point and have access to the switch. You can pull these wires just a little bit more to give yourself some extra room here. Okay, so I like to work one wire at a time. So there's 2 wires here. So I have my replacement switch and I like to line these up exactly. And you're going to be wiring 1 wire at a time. So this middle wire here is going to go to this middle prong. This wire here is going to go to this side. Now, if the outside prong wire accidentally gets wired to the outside this way, that's okay. It doesn't actually matter. It's a switch. Okay, so you're going to take your soldering iron here and apply pressure to 1 wire. You're just kind of getting it a little hot here. And you'll see it's like smoking a little. That's okay. Okay, so I took that wire off now. Okay. Next is I need to actually put solder on the switch itself. Okay, so we have our 3 prongs. We need to put solder on the middle prong and the outside prong. Okay. Putting solder here will help. It will be a lot easier when you're putting the switch on. So the key here is that you don't actually want to heat You want the solder to go on the prong itself, and the way that you do that is you heat up the prong, and when the prong gets hot, it will actually transfer the solder to the thing. So when you're done, you're going to have solder on this one and this one. Okay, so here's the wire from the middle one. So you can see there's no wire connecting to the middle one now. So this wire needs to go to the middle of the new switch. Okay, and the way that you do that is just hold it together, and with the soldering iron you're heating that solder, and when it liquefies it will melt together, and then you hold it steadily and release, and then you can see that you have a good connection here. The way to double check the connection is to actually pull on the wire. So we need to do the same exact thing here. So just a little bit of heat to release that, and now this wire goes on this prong. Okay, and you can pull this out just a little bit. Same exact thing that we did before. I'm just giving this a little bit of heat, and once it liquefies I let go of the soldering iron so I can see it actually liquefy. Let it go, hold it steady, and then you can take, so this actually, the sleeve actually melted off of here, but that's okay. As long as these two wires are not connecting, you're in good shape. Okay, now we need to take this nut off of here, and then take these two washers, this washer which you don't need, so you can throw this washer away, and now you take these pliers and you just have to get all the way in there to go through the hole where it was before. Once it's in the hole, I usually like to kind of steady this, put this washer, which is like a locking washer, and then this nut, and you just tighten this nut down. Okay, I like to look inside to make sure that that's straight. It doesn't have to be straight, but I like to do that. And then you take your pliers and tighten that down, and now you have your new switch. If the switch is slightly crooked, this won't switch straight. It'll just switch slightly crooked. It doesn't mess up the switch itself. So I'm going to get in there and just twist this ever so slightly. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now that I have my switch soldered, it's time to test it out. I'm going to wait to screw these on until after I've tested it, but I've put the cap back on so there's not a risk of, you know, shorting something out. Okay, so we're just going to plug it in. So just plug it in, and I can see that the red switch comes on. And it works. And so I just switch it back and forth, make sure everything's looking good. It looks great. So I have it off, and I unplug it again. So unplug it, and then I just need to screw these 3 screws back in. get in there so you can see. So just take these 3 screws here. Okay, you're done. Congratulations, you replaced the main power switch on the tufting gun.